Hello there, good morning. It is Monday, September 23rd, and I thought it would be fun to vlog today since my last vlog I recorded on Friday. And this way we're kind of picking up exactly where we left off. And I realized after I finished the last vlog, there were things that I did on Friday related to parent-teacher conferences that I completely neglected to tell you.
I kept a secret. I kept the secret so good.
So we're gonna make sure that we cover that today. Now, before we jump into it, we're gonna start with some good things because almost all of the meetings that we do here at my school, whether it's a staff meeting or a team planning meeting, we always start with good things. And I just love that because it's simple, but everyone needs to share some good things. I'm happy to report that I had a phenomenal weekend. First of all, I barely touched anything school related. Last night, I did go on and process a few emails and kind of just looked over my slides for the week. But as I mentioned in my last vlog, which go back and watch that one if you haven't already seen it because it is the precursor for this one, I am finally ahead on my planning, which feels really good. And as a result, I was able just to spend time with Billy this weekend and relax and rejuvenate. And it was phenomenal. On Friday, the first thing I did when I left school, besides go home and pick up Billy, was go pick up these sweet incentives. I had mentioned this in the last vlog. These are basically incentives for some kind of like a sweet treat. I think it's like a voucher for a place called Jeremiah's Italian Ice. Billy and I went and picked these up on Friday. And while we were there, we went ahead and got some Italian ice because why not? So we had like basically dessert before dinner, which is always a lot of fun. And then we kind of got to the point where we were like, I'm hungry. Let's just eat out. Usually we only eat out one night a week. And so we swapped, instead of eating out on Saturday, we went ahead and ate out on Friday night. By the way, if you saw my last vlog, I needed pennies. I did remember to bring those. So we had kind of a spontaneous Friday date night rather than a Saturday date night. And we also then on Saturday went and got snowballs. There is a place here in Austin, it's called Casey's Snowballs, but they're like New Orleans style. And it's a tradition. We go every single year because it's really, really good. I've had to bring in lotion. My hands are really dry lately. But we went and got our snowballs. I got a pumpkin pie flavored one. So it was pumpkin pie syrup with cheesecake filling and whipped cream. It was delicious. And then on Sunday, Billy and I got up, went to the gym like we would traditionally do, but we also then went to a farmer's market. It's actually one of the largest in Texas. They have like over 100 vendors. It's crazy, but a lot of fun. We've been before, and we got some kolaches, we got empanadas. It's an al pastor empanada. That was delicious. We got some desserts and treats and things to bring home. We got something for Ember. We got a feta dip. So overall, great weekend. I'm definitely feeling re-energized, rejuvenated. I got a good amount of sleep. Billy and I watched the movie A Beautiful Mind, and I'm ready to have a great week. And with that, I brought in some cookies to give to the front office staff as well as the SLC team, which stands for Structured Learning Community. I love gift giving, okay? It's one of my love languages, mostly because I enjoy A, picking out gifts for others, but B, the anticipation of giving it to them, especially if it's like a surprise that they're not expecting. And so in this case, preparing cookies to give out gave me something to look forward to for Monday because I'm excited to be able to give it to them. So these little tags I just made on Canva, and I made it to fit within this box, but I will link them for you. They're editable as a Canva template if you are interested, but it just says, here's a little sweet treat to help you chip away at the week because they're chocolate chip. And then I did put the ingredients on there in case anyone has some allergies. So I need to deliver these, and then let's sit down and talk about parent-teacher conferences. Actually, first, I remembered another good thing I wanted to share. My September goal, because I've been setting a different goal for myself every month of the year, was to start an herb garden. And I officially made progress on that about, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I ordered the supplies I needed, I got the seeds planted, and y'all, I have sprouts. I'm so excited.
My 11 business herbs and spices in a sales batter.
I'm growing parsley. They haven't done anything yet. They're still germinating, I guess. I'm also growing basil and cilantro, and my basil and cilantro seeds have sprouted, and I just feel like a little plant mom now, and I am loving it. I have a little herb garden that sits on my windowsill above my kitchen sink. I have the cutest little mini watering can. Both of those came from Amazon, so I will link them. If you also want to try to find your green thumb, because my whole life it has been missing, but we're finding it. So on Friday, I completely forgot to mention that I had spent a majority of my planning time and then a little bit of time after school prepping for upcoming conferences. The way that conferences are done here, or at least the way they're being done this year here, is very different than how I've done them in the past. I've always had a dedicated conference day where basically we would schedule conferences with nearly every family. They'd come in for 15-minute time slots. We'd meet with them in person, and that was it. And we typically had that twice a year, fall and spring. But here, we are reaching out to schedule conferences with certain families, and then if we're not having a conference, we're filling out kind of an overview form of the students' progress academically, behaviorally, work habits, etc., that we are sending home. And it's just a different way to kind of manage it than what I am used to. And then also the conferences we are having are being done virtually, and that's completely new to me. So let's chat about what I did. First of all, I needed to figure out a list of these are the students that I need to reach out to their families to be able to have an actual conference. These are the students I need to fill out that form for. And for me, in order to logistically organize all of that in my brain, I needed a spreadsheet. So here is an overview of what the spreadsheet basically looks like that I created. I did go in and alter a few things to make this like a template, but it's just in Google Sheets, class name at the top, student names down the left-hand side. This is a spot for me to check off when I have filled out that form where I'm indicating their progress. Now, these are clickable checkboxes that I've inserted it into the cell. The main part of this is like the conference status, because then my brain is going, okay, do I need to schedule a conference? If so, have I emailed them? Have they signed up for one? Has the conference happened? So I created these drop downs, and from here I can indicate either no conference needed or need to send email to schedule conference, email sent to schedule or request a conference, conference scheduled, conference completed, and then I also have one for conference requested by parent, because even if their progress maybe doesn't indicate that they need a conference, I might have a parent reach out and request one. So those drop downs make it really easy to organize. From there, if I am having a conference with them, I can put the date and time as well as the link and then any important notes. This way, it's just all in one place. So if you are interested in this template, I'm gonna put a link down in the description box. You can have it for free. It's nothing fancy, but if you want it, have at it. It will be there for you. Otherwise, the way that I am having families sign up for a conference once I've reached out to them is with a Google Calendar appointment schedule. Now, I'm not gonna go through the details of how to create that because I already have a video with a full tutorial, which I will link for you down in the description box. But if you use Google, especially Google Workspace for education, I highly recommend looking into this tool because it is completely free and very simple to use. But my switch teacher and I are obviously gonna hold these conferences together since we teach the same students. And so I created an appointment calendar for us where families could go on and sign up for time slots. So I opened time slots during our planning time as well as after school. And we then went in and manipulated if there were any days where it's like, hey, I can't stay late this day. I took off those time slots. But it generates a link, and then I just emailed that link out to parents. And as I sent that email, I also saved it as an email template. A couple of videos ago, I made a favorite hacks video for teaching, and I talked about email templates. All of the things this year that I know I will need an email for again in the future, I'm saving it as a template. So now I have a template for requesting a conference, as well as a template for, hey, we don't really need to meet. Of course, if you want to, you can still request a conference, but a paper with your child's progress is gonna come home in their Tuesday folder. That is saved as an email template as well. On Friday, I got the appointment schedule set up, I got the spreadsheet created, and I got all of the initial emails requesting a conference sent, and then I scheduled the ones for the students where I'm not requesting a conference, because that skills check is not gonna go home for another week and a half. So I scheduled those to go out the day before. The email will go out and then the paper will go home in Tuesday folders. I still need to actually fill out the paper, but I feel good that I at least have an organized system for this. Even though I've held conferences before, when it's done a different way, you gotta zhuzh up the system. And we found a system, and I feel good about it. Other random small change, because I got smarter over the weekend. On Friday, I showed you this 6-cup organizer caddy that I have from Michael's that I use to organize science investigation materials. And I initially put all the materials just into each slot, but then I realized because it was so many materials, it would be easier to have them all in a little cup. That way each group can just grab their cup and go. So I put in a cup and put all the items in there. But what I love is this organizer still makes it easy to move all of the cups at once, because they fit right inside, almost like a little cup holder. Also, if I were getting drinks and things for my team teachers from, a Starbucks or whatever, this would be perfect as a carrying caddy. So double purpose, love it. Now I'm about to sit at my back table from now until when my students come in. I have about 55 minutes. And I'm gonna start plugging away at a review game. So next week, is it next week? No, the week after. No, 2 weeks, I don't know. I've lost track of the days, but my students are gonna be taking a curriculum-based assessment, and ideally, I like to fit in a review the day before. Doesn't always happen because it's hard to fit it in when you're also still trying to teach lessons. But based on the scope and sequence of this unit, we should be able to fit in a review. So I'm gonna be creating a TRASHKETBALL game, which is my favorite review game because it is so incredibly easy. We're gonna chat more about that in a bit. I'll show you how to play, what you need, but between now and then, I'm gonna try to get the questions done. Thankfully, I have a template, which makes it much faster. So wish me luck. Next time I check in, hopefully I'm telling you the review game is all done. Before we chat about the review game, I do wanna show you quickly how I cleaned up with science. And when I say I really mean a student, because y'all know, I put a student in charge of this. I left a cup in each of the sections, that way it's ready to go for the next investigation. I went ahead and kept the pennies and paper clips and put them in a baggie because these were not part of the science kit. These were things that I had to get from elsewhere. And goodness knows, I had to search through the depths of my house to find 6 pennies because I never carry cash. So this way, next year, I will already have it. I'm gonna pack that away with the other materials. But for now, I did keep out one set of the materials that they tested for our interactive word wall. So in case you missed it last week, this is our current interactive word wall setup for science. We are talking about classifying matter by physical properties. So we started with physical state, temperature, mass. Last week we worked on relative density, and then this week is magnetism. Currently it is blank because tomorrow we are going to go into our textbook, find evidence, and record it on the whiteboard on the word wall in real time. So this is something that I complete with my students, and it's, definitions, examples, and as you can see, I will tape objects directly to the board, which is what we're gonna do with the magnetism items from the investigation. That way, it gives them something to reference and look back on. So I plan to literally tape the magnet directly to the board with blue painter's tape. The items are going to get sorted into 2 groups, magnetic and non-magnetic, and I plan to put them into these baggies and then tape the baggies to the board. So the baggies will be kind of side by side with the items sorted. So like magnetic, and then these were all non-magnetic. So these will all go into the other baggie, and that way it will be there for students to reference as we finish up this science unit. Now let's chat about TRASHKETBALL, which is my favorite review game. Typically, it ends up being my students' favorite review game as well. They love it because it's fun and engaging. I love it because it's almost no prep. Basically, all you need is a trash can. Now, I have gone fancy and I have this trash can that looks like a basketball hoop. You can literally use a trash can you have in your classroom or a bucket or anything. I got this way back when at Bed Bath & Beyond, rest in peace. But you can find one on Amazon. I will link it for you. I'm actually gonna put all of these types of materials into an Amazon list that I'm gonna call like lesson and engagement materials. That way, as the year goes on and I'm showing you materials for a specific activity or lesson, I have a place to put them. But you can also find these at other stores. You can even find mini versions at dollar stores. So be on the lookout if you do want to invest and get fancy, but you don't have to. You also need a ball. Now, again, it could be a balled up piece of paper. It could be a ball of socks. It can be anything that you want.
I could loan you a pair of socks.
I have gone fancy and I have some little mini basketballs. I want to say I got these at the dollar store at one point, but I've also seen similar ones at Party City, and you can also find a pack on Amazon. I like to have one per group. That way, as I go around and check group answers, if they are correct, I will tell them to go get in line. They will grab a ball out, and that way, by the time I've checked all of the groups, I have a line of students ready with a ball in order to shoot it. But you could just use one ball and have them switch and rotate. Then you just need questions that students are gonna answer, and I do have a template for that. Now, this template is editable, and it includes both PowerPoint and Google Slides versions. What I'm showing you is the Google Slides version, but it looks exactly the same as PowerPoint. It is editable, so all you have to do is type in your title or topic, type in your rules, which I'm gonna explain how I play with my class, but feel free to make any changes. And then you have this clickable kind of homepage with all of your questions. The templates that are included have options for 5, 10, 15, 20, or 25 questions. If you need more than 25 questions, you could just create multiple games. So for example, if you wanted to have 30 questions, you could have one set of 25 and then another one with 5. But these are set up so all you have to do is type in the question. You can click on answer, which you will type in, and then when you click on home, it will take you back to that page. So these are all hyperlinked. If I click on question 18, it will take me directly to that question. As a result, you can have this game set up in just a matter of minutes. It's as easy as copying and pasting questions and answers, and then it's all set up to play. Now, usually we are playing TRASHKETBALL to review before an assessment, and we will spend the whole class period playing, sometimes less, just depending on where we're at with the scope and sequence. But I break my class into teams, anywhere from 4 to 6 teams, but it depends on your class size. It's totally at your discretion. Teams will work together to solve each of the questions, but the student who is recording the work and the answer will rotate after each question. So for example, question 1, one student will be the recorder for their group. They will have a whiteboard and marker. That is the board that I am checking when I come around to check for correct answers. That student is also the one who will get to shoot the ball. After the first question, it rotates to another student in the group, but for each question, they're working as a team to come up with the solution. Now, in terms of shooting the ball and keeping track of points, I usually record team names on the board, but I will put my students in charge of coming up to mark their points. It's usually just with a whiteboard marker. So if they get a question correct, they score a point. The student who was recording for that group also will grab a ball, they will wait in line, and they have the chance to shoot for a bonus point. If they make the basket into the trash can, then they get a bonus point. And once again, they are responsible for going up to the board and recording that point next to their team name. If a team does not get it correct, then they don't score a point, and they also do not get the chance to shoot the basket. So they're really incentivized to try to get the correct answer. I mentioned that I have a ball per team, so they can come up, grab it, get in line. And sometimes I have just one shooting line. I usually mark it with a piece of duct tape on my floor. but sometimes I give the option for them to choose between a 1-point line and a 2-point line. So I will have one line where if they stand at that line and make the basket, they get 1 bonus point. I'll have one further back that is worth 2 points. So they get to choose whether they are confident in their shooting skills or not. But as I mentioned, the game is super easy. All you need is a trash can, a ball, and some questions. And you don't have to use the fancy template. As I mentioned, if you want it to look like mine and have it with links and everything already set up and formatted, you can grab that using the link in my description box. But if you just want to read aloud questions or display questions on your board another way, that's totally fine. You can play this with any grade, any subject area, any topic. All you need are questions and answers. It's just making it fun and engaging and gamifying it for students by adding in them getting to shoot the ball. So hopefully that makes sense. But if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I am happy to report that I did get the TRASHKETBALL game for kind of the midpoint of this current module that we are on, all ready to go and shared with my team teachers. Yay! We're actually not using it until the end of next week. So I feel good about that. And I also got some more conference things done. So I had some more parents book conferences. I had to go on and create the Zoom link, add that into my spreadsheet. I also felt like I spent all day answering emails. I don't know what it was, but after school I sat down to process emails, and during that processing time, more emails just kept popping up, and I'm like, like I'm trying to finish up the TRASHKETBALL game, but got that done. It's currently 4:30, so I did stay after school a little bit. However, I got everything off of my to-do list done. I also had to prep for a 504 meeting tomorrow, and then start to get ready for our house day, which is happening on Wednesday. If you remember, at the beginning of the year, I mentioned that my school utilizes a house system. So every teacher and every student is sorted into a house. So every house has students and teachers across grade levels. It's a way to create a sense of community outside of just your class and your grade level, but rather across the whole school. So we're having our first house day where essentially we're doing some fun activities and kind of collaborating together as an entire house. And this will be the first time for this school year. I kind of know what to expect, but at the same time, I've never done this before, so I don't know what to expect. But I thought I could vlog that day, kind of talk to you about how I'm preparing for it, and then reflect on it after, let you know how it went, and share some of the ideas. That way, if your school does a house system, or maybe you want to bring up the idea to administration to do in the future, you will have some ideas. But that will be the next vlog that goes up. For now, I need to get home, and I don't have anything to do when I get home, which is great because Billy was working from home today. So that means I can spend some time with him, throw some ball with Ember. I'm cooking dinner tonight. I already meal prepped yesterday on Sunday, so I don't have too much to do for that. But I feel really good going into this week. Now we'll see on Wednesday if I'm still feeling good or not. But for now, if you enjoyed this video and just following along with me on a Monday, you know, continuing from Friday where we left off, please give the video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and notification bell, because you never know when a new video is going to drop on the Falling in Love with Teaching Again playlist, which go back, check out the videos, make sure you're up to date. As always, thank you for watching. I love you so much. Don't forget to put your positive pants on, and I will catch you in the next one.